I don't want to say very much about that.
Just like the rest of us, celebs aren't immune from falling in love at work.
You're mine, and I'm yours.
But sometimes movies can make or break a relationship or even a marriage.
I hate you.
From Jennifer Lawrence to Jennifer Garner, we'll reveal which movies pushed these stars to their breaking point in their relationships.
And that's how it's done.
And that's how it's done.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Let's start out with one of the most infamous headline-grabbing divorces in all of Hollywood history. That's right, we're talking about the now former union of Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston. These two were both gorgeous stars, and their marriage always looked loving and wholesome, at least on the outside. Or at least it did before Brad got involved with the film Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Before we knew it, he had gone from signing on to the movie to signing divorce papers, and fans were left wondering what the heck happened. We should have known when his Friends cameo hated Jennifer's character so much.
God, I hate her, Ross. I hate her.
Well, they didn't have to wonder for long, because most blamed Brad's co-star Angelina Jolie, who he would later go on to marry. But according to Angelina and Brad, there wasn't any impropriety between them while the latter was still married. So what caused the split? Apparently, Brad had been feeling stagnant in his life and in his marriage. While Jen was willing to work on this, Brad realized he wanted out on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It sounds like he was looking for an excuse to leave and just so happened to find the motivation he was seeking with his attractive co-star. By the Sea. Although many fans mourned the loss of Brad and Jen, we did have a new couple to obsess over, Brangelina. Although their relationship started out with a lot of gossip, this couple progressed surprisingly slowly. Apparently, neither was eager to rush down the aisle, and they stayed together for years before they even started seriously thinking about marriage. Ultimately, Angelina says it was the pressure from their kids that made them decide it was time to finally tie the knot. But their marriage was far from perfect, and soon fissures began to show in their once serene facade.
This is what 10 years of marriage will do to you.
Brad eventually admitted his drinking had gotten out of control and was affecting his ability to be a father. Before he had this wake-up call, Angelina was trying desperately to cling to their marriage and thought working on a movie together could be just the bonding experience they needed. The two stars worked on the film By the Sea together, but sadly it was too little too late to save their marriage. All it did was drive home the point that they had drifted apart and couldn't seem to find their ways back to one another. Green Lantern. Before Ryan Reynolds became renowned for his portrayal of the Marvel anti-hero Deadpool, he took a detour into DC by appearing in the movie Green Lantern. This film was pretty much universally panned, and even Ryan isn't afraid to point out how bad it is.
That's a really dumb superpower.
But in addition to making a great superhero look lame, it also ended not one but two relationships. At the time, Ryan Reynolds was married to fellow actress Scarlett Johansson, who would also go on to portray a Marvel hero later in her career. But Scarlett claims having two actors in the family was just too much for their marriage, which was already struggling due to a lack of communication. She called the situation volatile and admits she decided on divorce during a post-Green Lantern filming road trip. The movie also coincided with another breakup, this time between Blake Lively and Penn, who had been together for years. At first they kept their breakup a secret, but eventually the truth came out. Although they denied being anything other than friends at first, Ryan and Blake would later end up marrying one another in 2012.
Yeah, we're really good about keeping our family together.
Daredevil. There are some celebrity portmanteaus that roll off the tongue, and others that unfortunately stick in our minds for all the wrong reasons. Who could forget the infamous Bennifer back when Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez were an item? The media was absolutely obsessed with this couple, especially when they announced their engagement, but after 18 months together, they split up. According to Ben, he was having trouble coping with public scrutiny on both his relationship with Jennifer and his acting ability. The worse his films did at the box office, the worse he felt about himself and his relationship. As you can imagine, his appearance in the movie Daredevil definitely didn't help. Although the movie had its share of detractors, Ben did find support from his co-star Jennifer Garner. The two had met previously on the set of Pearl Harbor, but now they grew closer. Ben has since admitted that they fell in love on the set of Daredevil despite the relationship with Jennifer Lopez and Jennifer Garner's marriage to Scott Foley. Although it would take some time for Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck to make things official, they married one another in 2005. Gone Girl. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner may have fallen in love on the set of Daredevil, but sadly this romance wasn't meant to be. Although they tried to keep up the appearance of a happy family, this couple was constantly plagued with rumors of infidelity on Ben's part. Their relationship was already on thin ice before Ben started filming Gone Girl, but it certainly didn't help. Ben had trouble with drinking in the past, and at that point had been in rehab once previously.
You know, like, luckily I didn't end up on a show and get famous and go crazy.
Yeah.
However, he believed heavy drinking would help him get into character for the movie, which has to be one of the worst excuses we've ever heard. Although Ben called his own performance quite convincing, Jennifer apparently wasn't impressed. Ben was drinking, acting irresponsibly, and not putting in an effort at home, and for some reason Jennifer didn't appreciate his dedication to his art. She especially didn't approve when Ben admitted to cheating on her, and the couple divorced in 2015. Silence. Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield met on the set of The Amazing Spider-Man and grew close while working on the film.
I'm Andrew Garfield.
I'm Gemma Scrone.
They seemed like such an adorable couple, plus they fulfilled the fantasies of all of the Mary Jane and Peter Parker stans out there. Naturally, there were rumors about them dating, which only intensified when Emma broke things off with Kieran Culkin and Andrew called it quits with Shannon Woodward. Eventually, Emma and Andrew went public with their relationship to the general glee of their fans.
Yeah,
we're ready.
But while they may have been a match made in Marvel Comics, their love sadly didn't last. Andrew signed on to appear in the movie Silence, a role which was far from easy. He was forced to lose 40 pounds for the role, which was draining all of his mental and physical energy. Sources claim this left Emma feeling neglected, and the couple simply couldn't make it work. Interestingly enough, Andrew definitely hasn't been able to maintain his silence when it comes to his ex. He claims it's been bliss to watch her succeed in the entertainment industry. Mother. Jennifer Lawrence is a gorgeous and talented actress, but that doesn't mean she's perfect.
and I was like,
There was a time when Jennifer learned an important lesson about mixing business with pleasure when she dated filmmaker Darren Aronofsky. The two had a big age gap, but what really proved insurmountable was their collaboration on a movie that was less than well received. The couple worked together on the movie Mother, which didn't go over well with critics. And by that we mean there were mass walkouts at showings of the film. Yikes! Needless to say, this put a ton of stress on Jennifer and Darren, who had different methods of dealing with it.
We definitely went really intense.
Too far.
We went
Too far.
Jennifer tried her best to ignore it while Darren was determined to dig through the bad press and analyze every unkind comment. Although she wanted to be supportive, Jennifer felt herself getting majorly stressed out over her partner's obsession with the reviews. Darren just couldn't get over the bad press generated by the film, and Jennifer couldn't get over his obsession. The two of them ended up terminating their relationship only a month after the premiere of Mother. Snow White and the Huntsman. Even if you're not a fan of the Twilight franchise, you have to admit Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson made a cute couple. The two met while filming the first Twilight movie and flat out refused to talk about their relationship for the longest time. These two lovebirds were determined not to share details of their private life together, and for the longest time wouldn't even admit they were dating. Not that anyone was really fooled. These two stars supported each other's careers until the fateful day Kristen was caught going way too far with someone on set. Kristen signed on to star in the movie Snow White and the Huntsman, directed by Rupert Sanders. Not only was Rupert nearly 20 years her senior, but he was married with 2 children. Not only did Kristen and Rupert hook up, but they were messy enough to get caught, and pictures of their intimate liaison were all over the place. Considering Kristen wouldn't admit to dating Robert for so long, this was especially surprising. Kristen apologized for her actions, claiming Robert was the person she loved and respected the most, and she regretted harming him. Although the two briefly reconciled, it seemed they couldn't move past this and ended their relationship in 2013. House of Wax. The 2005 remake of the 1953 horror film House of Wax was supposed to be scary, but the real terror went on behind the scenes. Chad Michael Murray played the role of Nick while he was married to fellow actress Sophia Bush, whom he met on the set of One Tree Hill. Sophia would later claim she and Chad were too young to be married, and working in the entertainment industry only put pressure on their relationship. The couple ended up divorcing after only 5 months of marriage, and both Chad and Sophia were reluctant to comment on the split. But there were some serious rumors that Chad's time on the set of House of Wax had something to do with it. Among his horror movie co-stars was socialite Paris Hilton, who was dating Nick Carter at the time. According to Nick, Paris cheated on him with Chad while the two of them were filming, and needless to say, he wasn't thrilled about it. House of Wax may have destroyed 2 relationships, but hey, at least the movie... Okay, so it's pretty terrible too. Pushing 10. Sometimes it seems like being an actor means living a privileged life, but stars aren't immune from heartache. Just ask actress Laura Dern, who was once in a relationship with Billy Bob Thornton. The two of them had been together quite a while, and as far as Laura was concerned, everything was going splendidly between her and her fiancé. According to Laura, she left their shared home to work on a movie, and by the time filming wrapped up, her fiancé had gotten married to someone else. This was devastating to Laura, who lamented there was no closure or clarity to be had. As for Billy Bob Thornton, he had gotten hitched to his Pushing 10 co-star Angelina Jolie, who had been dating Timothy Hutton. Their marriage may have been brief, but it was definitely intense. Later, Billy Bob would claim he never felt as if he was good enough for Angelina, which committed to the demise of their marriage. As for Billy Bob and Laura, they managed to avoid each other outside of an awkward encounter at the 2017 Golden Globes. What do you think of these stories of famous Hollywood breakups? Do you think working in the entertainment industry is just too tough on relationships, or were these unions doomed from the start?
That is the most disgusting thing I ever heard.
Thank you.
Share your thoughts with us in the comments section, and then click on the subscribe button for more videos from us here at The Taco. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.